Hello, everybody, and welcome to the final podcast of Hey, Are You Still There for 2025. This is Mike.
And Beth.
And we're a few days late, Beth.
Yes. Yeah.
Because you keep us so busy this time of year. We didn't even have time to do it. I thought about doing it by myself just to teach you another lesson, but it wouldn't be worth it.
Well, in our defense, not just Christmas, but we had family illness and things that happened. And so that was a lot to deal with.
Doing this podcast is what your dad would have wanted.
Okay, I'm sure. Yes. While he's ill and in the hospital, he'd be like, oh, yes, please do a podcast.
Hey, but he's home.
Yeah. Exactly.
Getting things worked out slowly but surely.
But that was still a lot right over Christmas, And so sorry to the listeners, but the podcast just wasn't something that could be squeezed in between trying to celebrate Christmas and also, making sure all the family was okay.
Well, I still think we could have squeezed it in, but you were resistant.
Yes.
So now we're late. We had emails and texts asking us where this podcast was.
Yes.
And we just had to tell people for the first time this is what I think our 71st episode.
Yeah. That we missed.
That we missed a Saturday morning release.
We could have just told everybody we were taking a Christmas break.
We could have.
Sometimes people do that. Like the big podcasters, they're like, oh, I'm going to be taking 2 weeks off to, regenerate and think of new ideas.
Well, my goal is to release this one on New Year's Eve.
Okay.
That way people can listen to it as they ring in the new year.
Yes. So are you doing this instead of Saturday, or are we doing two this week?
We're still going to have to do a second one.
Oh, good gracious. This is insanity.
Or I'll just do one without you.
No, it's okay.
No.
I'm just saying. I just feel like...
Listen, it's my podcast anyway. Each week, you're a guest.
I don't know that I'm getting paid enough to put up with this. And for
You're not.
Demands.
You're a guest. I just said, this is my podcast. You're a guest that never leaves.
You're very demanding of a guest. I mean, I would think you'd want to be like a better host to me. Like,
I think I could get better guests.
Okay.
One that doesn't belittle me or argue with me.
Well, speaking of, we had Christmas, and I think it's time. How many Christmas cards do you think you got?
Too many. We got more Christmas cards this year than ever before. And obviously, you can go back and listen to the previous year's worth of podcasts to know my disdain for Christmas cards, especially the generic ones that all people do is sign their name or sign a message, and that's it.
So we had a person or people from church.
Someone thought they'd be funny
and
send them out this year to me.
Yes.
The generic card.
Ones.
And they didn't just send it to me. They sent it to you, each of our kids, and every one of our pets.
Oh, I should have told they should have done like the fish that are outside and Josh's little fish thing.
If they're still alive.
That would have been nice. I did see one swimming. Or even the birds that come to my bird feeder. We could have really expanded it.
The ones you hadn't killed yet because of your sunroom glass?
Oh, gosh.
Should we talk about that?
No.
Remember that time that happened?
I've already cried about it. I don't want to talk about it. Anyway.
Knocking out these birds one glass window at a time.
It is so upsetting. I don't want to talk about it. Why do you have to bring that up? Now I feel this heaviness and sadness. Okay.
That's why I brought it up.
Who do you think? It's time, I think, for the big reveal. I need to know.
Do you know who they are?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
I got 2 sets of cards.
Uh-huh.
The first set came in red envelopes that were handwritten on the outside. Mm-hmm. And on the inside, it just said from your Re3 family or friends at Re3, something to like that. It had Re3 in it.
Yeah.
The second one came in white envelopes. Mm-hmm. They were labels that were printed off a computer onto the envelope. Mm-hmm. And the writing on the inside said from your secret Santa. Mm-hmm. And the penmanship was different.
Yes.
So I am of the belief that these are 2 different people.
Did the red and white envelopes, did that influence this deduction, this social deduction?
Whatever it takes, Beth.
Okay. Anyway, keep going.
I think, and again, I have no idea who these people are. Mm-hmm. I'm going to guess the white printed labels with from your secret Santa came from, and don't tell me yet, Ross Cashin, a friend who we will call Ross. And I believe the red envelopes came from our friend Melissa Edwards, our friend who we will call Melissa. So those are the two people that I could see doing something like this. So who are they?
Not them.
Wow.
Neither one of them.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know which person to reveal
Let's
first.
start with the
'cause I don't know
red
who
because they
decided.
started coming first. The handwritten red envelopes that from your friends at Read 3.
Okay, I may get these backwards.
Oh,
I
this is
don't
going to
know
be the
who
worst
sent. I
reveal
don't know who
impossible.
sent the red envelopes versus the white envelopes. I just know who did it.
You just botched the big reveal.
Okay, I think the ones that were handwritten that said your friends at Read 3. I think that was Jerry and Bill Van Brunt.
Oh, Jerry,
Did you
that
see that
sounds
coming
like
at all?
something. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. That would have come from Jerry. I'm not going to say Bill. I don't think he cares enough. But Jerry does listen and she does care. And she's a huge Christmas fan. As we saw the other night, Bill and Jerry invited us over to their house for dinner. It was wonderful.
To see their permanent Christmas lights and multiple trees.
Their entire house still looks like Christmas. It looks like Santa's
everywhere.
workshop.
Every detail, even her cabinets have bows
Yes,
on
I
them.
saw that.
Yeah.
And so I could see her doing something like that because she would be so offended. And Jerry's funny. She's sneaky funny.
Yeah.
So I could see her doing something like that. So yeah, okay, Jerry.
Now that you know that, do you want to revise your other guess since you know you got it wrong?
No, I don't have a clue then. Those are the two people who I thought.
Scott and Kelly.
Scott and Kelly.
Would you have ever known that?
No, that came out. But I will say, I think they're sneaky funny too.
Yeah.
Like, especially after spending a week with Scott in Jamaica on a mission trip. He's got a witty, dry sense of humor. Mm-hmm. And after Kelly being on our leadership team at church, I kind of, and her and Jerry are like two peas in a pod.
Right.
So I don't know if they cooked this up together, but yeah, well done.
Well, it's
well
funny.
done, Bill and Jerry. Well done, Scott and Kelly. You got me.
Well, the plan came together on November 23rd. Kelly messaged me and said, "Don't tell Mike, but Scott was determined to send Christmas cards to every member of your family." And of course, they knew the kids' names, but they were like, "What are your pets' names?"
Oh,
So then I told them the pets' names, and she said it's going to be awesome. And then she wanted to make sure like she had the right address and everything. Then she started to ask if like the cards had started to arrive. And then they also checked in on December 20th and they were like, "Did you do the podcast this week?" Because they wanted to see what you had to say about the Christmas cards. Of course, she didn't say anything nice about them. And then they checked in again. But I asked them, I said, "Are you the only two, sending the cards?" Because Mike's going to guess on the podcast who it is. And can I reveal it then? And she said, Bill and Jerry did it too. So she made it sound like Bill did too. She said that she hand wrote and Bill and Jerry did the labels. So that just shakes it all up even more, doesn't it?
It does. Well done. Well
and then
done.
she laughed about the one, because I talked about the one that wasn't signed, and she's like, "I forgot to sign one. That wasn't intentional." But like, I thought that even added to the fun of it. The one that wasn't even signed, because I was like, it's like the cards get worse and worse from Mike's perspective. They went from generic, just signed Secret Santa or Read 3 Family to like not even signed, just
Not
a
even
generic
signed.
card. Yeah.
You know what? I said I was going to keep Kim and Danny's card because they're the ones that sent me $1.75.
Yes.
Taped to a
piece of paper essentially. Yeah.
I'm going to keep one of theirs, one each.
Oh, just one.
Yeah, just one. You don't need all of them.
Oh.
But I will keep, if I can figure out which ones was the one actually addressed to me, I might still have that in the envelope or not. But I will. That is good stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe that also, every year I'll bring out those two cards and Kim and Danny's, and that's what will get hung on our mantle.
Every year.
Every year. Just those three cards.
Okay, gotcha. Good to know.
Don't you think?
Yeah, sure. I thought maybe this had like turned your heart, like it had grown 3 sizes or something because of this.
Not at all.
Okay.
And I guess my reputation goes ahead of me, so much so that our friend Faith, who had cards made
yeah.
with her family picture
Pictures
on them.
on
They're
them.
like the postcard,
Yeah.
with the
Professionally done pictures that look real fancy.
right. So she was giving those out, and she was going to give one. She gave them out Christmas Eve. You were at the early service, but not the late service.
Yeah.
She forgot to give them out the early service. She was giving them out the late service. And she said, I have one for your family, but I'm not going to give it to you. And I was like, why? And she was like, because you'll just rip it up. And I was like, no, just give it to me. I'll give it to Beth. She refused. She would not. And she, even to the point she was like, Mike, these are pictures of my kids. Like, she thought if I ripped this picture in half, somehow her family would be ripped in half.
Yes.
And I had to promise her on my life that I would just take that card and give it to you, and you would open it and look
And then
at
I had to text her and tell her that you delivered it safely.
it. And then I ripped it in half and threw it
No,
away.
you didn't.
I
didn't
will.
let you. I tried
I'm
to.
going to video myself ripping it in half, and then I'm going to send it
I
to her.
protected the cards this year.
You did protect
I
them.
did protect them, and so everybody.
But they're
can
not
thank
going to be
me.
protected after this.
Oh gosh, here we go. Okay.
Except for 2 cards.
Yeah.
They'll hang on the mantle with the 3rd card.
Yeah. Year round or just at Christmas?
Just at Christmas.
Okay.
I appreciate wit.
So you're going to box those up with like the
Yes.
tree. And
Yes,
the
they will be
ornaments
boxed up with the
and
ornaments.
stuff. Maybe you should make a special little tree that you hang.
Well, you
the
got
special
that
cards.
Advent tree that you used to put out every so often.
Yeah.
We could always break that back out and just tape these to that
Take
tree.
this- yeah, just those.
And when
That'll
people
be your
come in
special.
and say, what's special about these cards? You know who else we could hang on there? From last year, the one that Ross and his mom and grandma sent us.
Oh yeah.
Remember, they sent us a homemade card.
Yes.
Because I said if I had a card, I'd want it to like take some time.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So yes, I believe I still have that card also. We'll put all 4 of those on the Advent tree, and it will now be the Christmas card tree. And that will be people's goals to see if they can do a card
that
good enough
makes it to that,
that
tree.
makes it on there.
Yes, but we know what won't make it on there.
Not fates. And not the ones from people that you and I are like, who are these people?
Yeah.
And we had to rack our brains to figure out
Every
who
once
they
in a while
were.
That does happen. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So there you go. That's
Big reveal.
That
I'm
is-
glad you were surprised.
I was very
really
surprised.
worried that you were going to figure it out or something, and I tried so hard to keep it a secret. I'm very proud of myself.
that was really good. Yeah. Now the white one, I thought maybe Ross. Just because he sent the card last year.
Yeah.
And Ross is pretty witty. And I
Yeah.
could see him doing something like that.
Well, no, Ross is more about a good pun. I feel like he would have had a pun in his card if he had done it.
Nah.
Yeah.
He knows better.
Oh, yeah.
He knows that would end our friendship.
Okay.
And then the other one, I was trying to judge the handwriting. It looked like a feminine handwriting. So
Yeah.
if Scott signed those, I apologize to Scott. But it had good
or Bill,
penmanship.
either one. Yeah.
Well, no, this came well though.
Oh, yeah, that would be that.
I could
yeah.
see Bill writing the white ones because it looked like. It was just, it was just,
Normal
I think it
writing.
may have been printed. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to tell
Yeah,
male
when
or
you're
female.
printing,
But
yeah.
cursive sometimes
You can tell.
you can tell.
Yeah.
And that could just be me stereotypical. But so the penmanship looks similar to Melissa Edwards. And that's why I thought I could see Melissa doing something like this. But I don't know if she listens to the podcast. So that's what kind of threw me off a little bit with her. I was like, well, I don't know if she listens, but I could see her doing this.
Yeah. So besides the Christmas cards, we had a few other different things. We had our first time for our Christmas Eve service. We had an early service and a later service, as you alluded to. We used to always do the midnight one, which actually started because not only did we want to ring in Christmas Day at midnight when it was actually Christmas Day with the candles and singing Joy to the World, but we met years and years ago in a movie theater.
Well,
and
even
so that was
before
the time
that,
we could
though,
do that.
We started at Shady Grove, the first church I ever was, was at, in a major official capacity. I'd worked at some other churches part-time or interns or things, but I consider Shady Grove my first grown-up job. That Christmas, so Christmas of 97, they did, Jim would do 2 services. I feel like he did like a 6 o'clock service and then he did like an 11 o'clock service. And I loved it then. And I went to every Christmas Eve service at 11. when I worked at Shady Grove. When we left and planted our first church, we met in a movie theater. So Christmas Eve, Christmas Day is big in movies.
Yeah.
And so we couldn't get to theater any earlier. So we had to do a late one. And we've done one ever since. So I've been to, and you hadn't been to all of them because we have kids.
We had
and
small kids. Couldn't drag them out at midnight and stuff.
Yeah, and some of us had to work Christmas Eve.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's where I was. And so, but I haven't missed a Christmas Eve midnight service since 1997.
Wow.
That's
crazy.
a pretty long streak.
Yeah.
Pretty long. And then this year we decided to finally do an earlier one. We did one at 4:15, I think. And it was great. It was full.
It was wonderful.
We had a lot of new people there.
Great music, great service. The boys came with us to that one, and then Jacob and Maria went to the night one. The funny thing that happened with that one was, though, I read at the early service, and Maria was like, well, why would I go to 2? Good preacher's kid there. Like, how could I go to 2 on Christmas Eve? So she didn't go with us to the early one, and Jacob and Josh did, and I read some scripture there. Well, then we all met for dinner afterwards, the whole family, so we could all have dinner together on Christmas Eve. And Maria thought she would pull one over on me, as she would say, just trolling me or whatever, and told me that she was reading at the midnight one, so I needed to come to hear her. And I was like, no, you're not. So I texted Tim, who was doing the late one, and was like, oh, is Maria reading? He's like, oh, no, but she can if she really wants to. And I was like, oh, well, she told me she was. She was trying to pull one over on me. The joke's on Maria because she showed up in her pajama bottoms to the to the late service and ended up reading. So
yeah, Tim made her read anyway.
That's what she gets for trying to pull one over on me. Yeah.
So I did the first service. You and I did the first service. Tim
and we had
and Laura did the late one.
Yeah.
So I was in attendance at the late one. Did not participate as far as running things, which was nice. I got to just sit and participate. Everything in my life is a competition.
Of
so
course,
I'm going to go ahead and say the early service was darn near perfect. It was, it just flowed. It was perfect. I just thought it was really good. I give it a 5 out of 5. Tim and Laura's, they had a nice effort,
I love this. But they get the second place ribbon.
It definitely fell short of the early one. And so, I walked away with a few critiques.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
And so, I don't know, 3.75, maybe 4.
Was part of it the scripture reading too? Like mine was so superior to Maria's, potentially?
That had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, I figured that had to play a big part in it.
Yeah, that was a lot of it. But yeah. So I thought the early service rocked, and I thought the late service was solid, but it wasn't the early service.
So and then all the teenagers went out to Waffle House afterwards. Anyway, but I used to always go when I went to the midnight. That was something I would do. But it was a little sad because we were able to see my dad in the hospital on Christmas Eve, but then Christmas Day, that was the first time, that my parents didn't make it on Christmas Day to see what the kids got and everything, which a few years ago, though, you had the flu. So, we've had Christmases, but I think it's just a little harder and sadder.
It was that year on Christmas, most of my parents had COVID.
Yes, and we had to go to their house and
just
stand
wave
outside
at them through the window.
Yeah, we just waved and delivered food. And I think those are hard.
This is back in 2020 when the pandemic was in full force.
Oh, here we go.
As I talked about in the
Okay.
Conspiracy podcast number 2.
But it was just those are hard, when your family's sick or when people, and we had, some losses in the church near Christmas and family, not us personally, but church members, so there was that's the other thing that can be really, hard about Christmas. And so there's great things that happened that were beautiful. And then there were things that were hard because, you're feeling already stressed about doing everything in the magic of Christmas. And then that happens. The other thing, the Christmas night, Maria and I would watch Stranger Things. So we had to stay up late. And why are you laughing?
Why does that matter?
Because that came out, this is a unique thing to 2025. Stranger Things is doing that thing. And they're also going to release the one, is it New Year's Day or New Year's Eve? I should know that better. But anyway, they're going to release the final episode. So, you had to stay up and watch that to know what was going to happen, to finally tie it all up.
I mean, F, you're one of the 12 people that are still watching Stranger Things.
The thing that is so hard about these shows and these books, and I've talked about this before, but so much time has passed. And I like the show just like I've loved some of my dragon books that we've talked about in the past. I don't love any of them enough to go back, though, and rewatch all the episodes to prepare me for it. So there's all these like little subtle hints that are in it. But when it's been years, literally, since you've seen some of the episodes, that's hard. And it's hard, too, even now. Like, I get why they're releasing them the way they are to build up, like, the suspense. But that's kind of interesting, too. But anyway, so that happened.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah.
So if you're a Stranger Things fan, just message Beth privately.
Yeah.
I don't care.
We can talk about what I thought of the different episodes. Yeah.
I thought the first season was great.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even make it through the second. I thought the second started jumping the shark.
So you were out super early.
I thought the first season was fantastic, and then the second season rolled around, and I was like, I don't like the direction this is going.
I don't even remember everything that happened on it, but we won't go there. But anyway, so yeah. And now we are coming upon New Year's Eve, and it's funny because in one of my work meetings that last week, right before Christmas, one of the people was like, "Who's making New Year's resolutions?" I kept my hand down. I am not a New Year's resolution fan because I feel like it's just a promise people make to themselves that they break. I mean, I don't mind though. I do like the exercise though that we're kind of doing, going back and trying to reflect on your previous year, maybe setting some intentions for the upcoming year. But
I mean, you've made a Big 12 list 2 years in a row. Is that not a New Year's resolution for a birthday, a new birthday year
like
resolution?
All new resolutions are the same. I feel like it's like, I'm going to exercise more. And then I go to the Y and it is so packed I can't move for 3 weeks and then no one's there again. Or it's like, I'm going to, get up at 5 a.m. and read my Bible every day. I feel like the Big 12, we've got enough time to accomplish those. It's usually like one thing you're doing over 12 months. The problem with New Year's resolutions is I think people set the bar so high. They're like, okay, because it's going to be January 1st, I am going to transform my life and start all these new habits and get them ingrained into my schedule. And then people get discouraged when they don't meet those and they give up. And I would say that about me. I tend to do that. Like I set things way too high. The expectation's way too high. And then it's like I fail and it's like, oh, what's the point? I've already failed at this point.
Yeah.
So, but I do like the reflecting back and I like thinking forward, like with some intention about the future, but not necessarily these firm things like I'm going to do these exact things every day at this time because life happens. And that's hard.
Mm-hmm. I like the turning of the calendar. I think it's a soft reset. There's something about it. Now, and I've always said, it didn't like going from December 31st to January 1st changes your life. You're not automatically healthier. Your bank account's not automatically full again.
Usually it's probably worse because you just spent all this money on Christmas.
But there's something about that new year that I think give people a little bit more hope and freshness and pep in their step and,
But I feel like as soon as it's
I'm going to be honest, I think if our calendar began and ended, let's say, May 31st to June 1st, I think people would stick with their commitments longer because I think people make these commitments and then, at least here in the U.S., you have the 2 worst months of the year.
That's what I was just going to say.
January and February
the slow,
are
steady
just
decline.
Cold, gray, just get me through this.
Yes.
And I think
short days. So it's dark at 4:50 p.m. here in North Carolina.
People's energy. So I think that if we were on a calendar schedule where June 1st was New Year's Day, you're starting summer. There's sunshine. The days are longer.
Yeah, so if you've said, I'm going to
kids are getting out of school
more,
for the summer.
I'm going to walk every day. That's easier to do when it's like 70 degrees
Let's
and
do
beautiful.
It then. Let's
start our New Year's.
That could be part of our Wreath Recult that we're doing here. That our New Year's Day will start June 1st.
Well, businesses sometimes run. Now, theirs usually ends June 30th and starts July 1st, but I guess we want to be a little different, so we could do June 1st.
We could do that. Yeah. I mean,
No,
I
but
just
then
I
it's
just
too
did
hot.
31st to 1st.
Then it's too hot. We should do June. July's too hot.
Yeah.
Because
then you might be like, it's too hot to go
by the
outside.
humidity.
You got to give them a little bit of hope to do something.
Yeah. So, let's go with May or June.
So it could be our spiritual fiscal year.
Yes. Yes. We're closing the books.
Yes.
At the end of like maybe April and starting May or whatever. We'll have to nail out get the details. But I was just going to say that it was so funny you were going to say that because I was going to be like, yep. And as soon as we have New Year's Day and we, a lot of people are also, I've worked some this week, but a lot of people are off work all this week. And so they won't go back until the Monday after New Year's. For me, that's when the steady decline happens because at least right now, even though it's cold and all that, people are still doing some family things. You're going to have maybe a New Year's Eve party or, still get together with some people. You've still got maybe the decorations up. So the cold darkness, kids are still home from college. Other elementary and high school kids are out of school on break. You've still got some stuff. But then come Monday, will that be the 5th or something? I don't know, whatever day that is. That starts that doomsday steady decline of it's dark or just getting light when you wake up. You go work and it's freezing cold and maybe windy, and we may get sprinkles of snow here in North Carolina, just enough to tease us and make us think that it's going to be a beautiful snow that then turns to ice and we don't even get to go sledding. And then it'll be dark, like I said, by 4:30 or 5.
I think everyone in our family, like the 5 of us, I think we all have a little bit
of that seasonal
depression.
Yeah.
A little bit to a lot.
Yeah.
I think you, Maria, Jacob, I think have it the worst.
Yeah, we do.
Josh and I don't like it. We can kind of get through it, but it's not, even we feel a little dip. But the 3 of you guys, I see the most.
And I think it's just because, I'm just such an outdoor, that's where I get refreshed. And it's not that I can't go outside when it's cold, but it's not even just the cold. It's the short days. You have less time to get outside. And if you have to work during the daylight hours, it just makes it more challenging. And there's something about it. People have even written about it. Winter is just this time when people kind of want to burrow in and hibernate. There's something psychological that happens.
Let's move to Galveston, Texas.
Why Galveston?
I don't know. It just came to mind. I think
that's
South Texas, and it's probably a little warmer there, and the days are a little longer. I'm guessing. I have no idea. You're going to roll
your eyes when I say this, but then I don't want to do that because I want to have the 4 seasons.
There you go.
I want to, if we don't have the depressing, cold, short days of winter, how do we fully appreciate the warmth of the sun and the blossoming flowers and the longer, brighter days of spring? How do you fully appreciate
You remember
that
when you're complaining February 1st. All right? I'm going to take this and replay it.
Yeah.
I'm going to listen to your own words. Shut up.
I know, but I'm just, oh, well, okay.
These words are going to come back to haunt you.
I know. That's why I hesitate to even be on this podcast. I feel like you're going to be hitting rewind, listen to this.
That's why you're a guest.
Yeah.
Start your own podcast in 2026.
I don't have the energy for that.
Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. If you had a podcast, you would be like, hey, I'm doing this weekly, and it might happen once a month.
Okay, whatever.
What do you think?
If now that you've challenged me, I would try my best to make it happen just to spite you. But left to my own devices, you're probably
That's what marriage is all about.
Just to spite you. Yes.
Which brings us to today's topic. As we have said, Hey, Are You Still There? Is founded upon we call it the 4 corners, 4 pillars, 4 table legs of what
so
our
not
life
a 3-leg
encompasses.
stool.
Not a 3-legged. That's right. This is a chair.
Yeah,
this is a
table. Full-on chair. Yeah.
The 4 pillars that hold up our lives, which is marriage, family, career, and ministry. Those are the 4 things we're involved in. It may not be for everybody. Yours may be a 3-legged stool. You may not have one of those. You may be
a 1-leg stool. You
may be a pogo stick, right? There's just one. You've
got really good balance.
You've got a career, and that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know. But so what we did last year and what we're going to do this year is we're going to do a little year in review where both of us, and we don't know what each of us are going to say. We're going to look back over those 4 things: marriage, family, careers, and ministry, and say this is one highlight from this past year in each of those 4 categories. You have 4, I have 4. They may be the same, they may not. We won't spend a lot of time breaking them down, because I'm sure it's stuff we've talked about on the podcast. If it's significant enough that it made
this list,
then it was significant enough for us to talk about. So this isn't going to be a huge in-depth thing, because I don't want to bore y'all with going back through what we've already talked about. But would you like to go first, Beth?
No, I want you to go first for a change. I feel like I always go first.
All right. The first one I have, marriage.
Okay.
Marriage. What was a highlight of our marriage in 2025? And there is going to be a theme to mine, because
you always have a theme.
Well, 2025 had a theme for us, for me, for you, for our family. And that theme is travel.
Uh-huh.
I don't think any of us stayed at home any time this whole year. Every kid was somewhere.
Because they were living somewhere else or going.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we were in so many different places this year, you couldn't even keep up.
Yeah.
I felt like probably if we went back and looked, every single month, 1, if not 2 of us were gone someplace.
I did go back and look. I went through our pictures, and I was sitting there like, oh my gosh, I traveled a lot.
Yeah, you did.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
Mine came in burst. Yours was very spread out.
It was sustained.
You sustained.
I was like a marathoner. I was just slow and steady, just constant.
You started in January with back-to-back trips to New York City and ended it in December with Spain.
Yep.
And went all kinds of places in between.
Yes. Like Harleyville, South Carolina. Anyway. Like we're putting up the really nice ones anyway.
So for marriage, it was our trip to Antigua. We went to Hawksbill Resort there in Antigua. It was the first time we've ever been to Antigua. Loved the resort, loved the country.
Did a really fun podcast about it.
We did a great podcast about it. That was one of my favorite trips you and I have ever taken in our almost now 28 years. Marriage. We've been married 27, almost 28 years. That's top 3. I would
and was
say,
it just the
trips.
Location, or what made it top 3? It was probably also, we went in January. We went at the end of January, beginning of February, during that awful time we were just talking about.
Yeah, so it didn't make it seem that winter doldrums didn't
Yes,
seem
it
so
was a
long.
break. Yeah.
The resort was great. The weather was great. We just had a good time, you know, like nothing crazy happened back home. You almost died coming home.
With my lips swelling. Yes, it was very traumatic.
I still got all those texts.
I'm still on the waiting list for the allergist, by the way. I still have not been. So almost a year. That's how long it takes to see a specialist. But anyway,
So for marriage, that was mine. Just you and I got away for that trip. And you and I have not taken a trip since then, like that long. We've done little weekend trips. We went to Chattanooga. We went to like Ocean Isle, North Carolina. But really, that's it.
That was it. That was our big one.
That was our big one all year.
Yeah.
And so I'm itching to do another one, and you seem very resistant.
No, so I'm not. I'm
pretty much ready just to do it myself.
Go by yourself to Antigua.
Yeah.
Sit on the beach.
Yeah.
You'll be that guy that they're like, what's his deal?
I don't
by
care.
himself.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll be that guy. I'll be Eric. Wasn't that his name?
Yeah.
Our
friend that we met.
Roatan.
Yeah, that we met.
I'll be him.
Yeah, just walking around.
Just walking around, doing my own thing. Yeah. I don't care, but I'm about ready to do that and just, go do my thing. So what's your marriage?
Well, it's funny because I'd written down that initially, and then I was like, I can't have everything related to travel, which it was almost. So I was like, I actually just thought about accomplishing things together. Like we did a lot of new things this year, which does in some ways reflect back on the Big 12. But when I was looking through my pictures, just seeing the pickleball, just the going and playing, like picking up a new hobby together. So learning that together, playing in these different places, even when we went to visit some of the places, but also doing things like publishing the books and stuff, because that was really like a team effort. Like even now, like you wrote your book, I read and edited and tried to help in that way with yours. But then you are the one who helped get everything uploaded, so it can be on Kindle and so we can sell the book. So like that truly has been a partnership, and that's been fun. Like just kind of setting these goals and actually accomplishing them together. So a lot of it was independent. I mean, writing the books was very independent, but then like coming together and doing that together as a team was really cool.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
So obviously something happened. You don't want to partner with me anymore, like go on this trip.
I do. I just, go. Oh my goodness. Here we go.
All right. Family.
Yes.
Again, sticking with the travel theme. I had experiences with all 3 kids. I and Josh went to Europe together.
Yeah.
And that was a blast.
Amazing.
I mean, Josh had a great time. We visited 3 different countries, 4 if you count Germany.
Where we stayed in a hotel.
We stayed in a hotel one night.
Yeah.
But yeah, we visited 3. Josh he loved it. I mean, that's his thing. He is so like inspired just to travel. And I know this breaks your heart. Your mind can't comprehend it. He will probably be our kid that'll never go to college, that will just be a vagabond and just travel country to country and just, well, who knows what he'll be doing.
Yeah.
You know, but it's cool traveling with Josh because he's such a culture kid. He'll eat anything. He wants to go to museums. He wants to just experience new life and new culture. And so,
yeah, there's not very much that and he'll do anything. He's like, there's be some things he might be like, I don't like it as much. But like you said, I do like that. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm only going to eat chicken nuggets or something. He'll try the different things, which is great.
Yeah.
And makes it more enriching.
Right.
Yeah.
With Jacob, I got some cool sporting events in this year with him. We went to, him and Josh went to the PGA Championship they played in North Carolina and Charlotte. And so we got to go to that this year. It was Josh's first golf tournament. Jacob and I have been a few times down there and always had a blast. And Jacob and I got to travel to Auburn, Alabama, and went to the Auburn, Georgia football game. And then even this past weekend, Jacob and I went to the Panthers game. It's our first Panthers game since 2017 that we've been to. And so the experiences with Jacob, doing something that's an environment he likes. He just loves football, loves sports. And so to be able to go there and do that with him. And then the last one, to travel with Maria, her life is theme parks and Disney and Universal. And so, I had to move her home from Florida and pack her up and drive her home. But we got to go to Epic Universe and do some cool stuff down in Florida before we came home, and just seeing her in her environment. And you get to see that a lot with her because you travel a lot with Maria to those places. I don't get that as often with her. And so that was fun. So for family, it's about meeting your kids, what they love to do, where they love to be, and just enjoying it with them. I think way too many times parents try to plan stuff and then force their kids to come along and enjoy it. And with us, I think we've done a pretty good job, and we're far from perfect parents, but I think we've done a really good job of saying, all right, what are our kids like? Let's go meet them there. And that's what I tried to do with all 3 kids this year, was what do they like to do? Let's just go meet these kids, because all 3 of them's different. Jacob would never go to Europe and have a great time doing that. Maria would want to go, but she's not a museum girl. She's not going to enjoy the things Josh enjoys. Yeah. And Maria don't care about sports. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, there's not a whole lot of overlap. And so they're all 3 at the ages now where it's like, what do you like to do? Let's go do it. And so that was my family. What's your family?
Well, mine's travel, but kind of related to that, sort of what you were touching on the end, is just like watching the kids do their thing and really flourish doing that, which relates to the travel because they were most of the time flourishing somewhere else once they'd traveled there. Saying a lot of the same things, but even when you're talking about that, like the travel with New York, like I think about with Josh and Maria, how different those trips were, because like Maria loves the arts and Broadway, and she does like art museums, but like, so, that trip with her was very focused on that, where Josh, when I went to New York with him, he likes the like more out there unique art. So we went to like,
he likes the graffiti.
Yeah.
He likes the subway.
Yeah. So like we found an alley. I found an alley that had graffiti, and we walked through that. We went to like see the really unique and out there modern art that was really like pushing the edge. He loved just walking around and being on the subway. So like you said, kind of like letting them lead. And the cool thing about those trips to New York is I mean, I would, if you've told me as when I was young, like a girl from Danbury, that I would have been to New York as many times as I have, I would have been like, you're crazy. But I think that's probably my most visited city. Like, in my,
Yeah, probably.
because I've been for work to speak at a lot of conferences. And then because of that, grew very comfortable with it. I mean, I need to go back and look. This might have been like my 10th or 11th time or something crazy.
And I have never been to New York City, which
I
is
think
crazy.
is just insane, that like we've been, I don't know, that just blows my mind when I think about those trips and stuff that you've never been. And then I've been more times. I mean, I think definitely over the double digits. But like you said, Jacob, I've asked him before, would you want to go? No. He's like the national park, the outdoors, the nature, or the sports. It's been a little harder for me with Jacob because we've talked about this before, because he does love some of the sports and stuff so much, and it's harder. He also is not as big of a traveler as the other two. So,
I would like to drive there, and you are the complete opposite.
Yes.
You don't even like driving to the airport to fly there.
But what I did get to do with Jacob, which kind of goes into watching the kids flourish. So like with Joshua, when he went to New York, that was his first big city, and he immediately just fell in love with it. And he was there in January when it was brutally cold and windy, but he loved, as you said, the subway. He loved all the people. He loved the public transportation. He loved just that big city vibe. He liked Chinatown and Little Italy and all those different areas. And just watching him like experience that was really cool. But also watching him flourish, like just seeing him, talk about his friends more, kind of grow into high school this past year. And then driving. I mean, we've joked about it, but get his learner's permit. He's our best driver. Every chance I get, I'm like, Josh, you're driving, because he is a great driver and he likes to drive. And so it's been cool to see that. And for Maria, watching her, we talked about it on here. I got to move her to Florida, and you got to, like go and see her in her element there, but like drove down with her, was able to like you said, see her not just there. It was more fun for me this time. I've seen her so much in her theme park element, but seeing her in other places, like embrace the other cultures. She's really expanded her food horizons. It's helped, like working in food services at Disney forced her to try foods that she otherwise wouldn't. So it's actually cool to go out with her now and she'll try new things. And then just seeing her too, like just some, having the grit and determination to do what she's doing at school, seeing her love her friends and embrace that life. That has been really, really neat, just seeing her in some different environments and then running with her, doing the race and stuff. That was a really cool experience. And then with Jacob, even though I didn't get to travel a lot with him, I got to travel as a family. Like we got to go for his spring break for a few days to the beach and got to watch him, like even before he had his internship studying birds, got to see him do his bird thing, but like moving him down, we've talked about this before, but to the middle of nowhere. And, he was the kid that if he had his siblings or his cousins with him and he went to camp or something, as long as he had that kind of like as a security blanket, he would be okay because he had somebody else there. But the one year that he had to go to camp by himself, he called us every night and begged to come home, and we went and let him. And to see the kid who, we joke, but truly, he doesn't want to be that far from, it's not home per se. It's wherever he's most comfortable, like Boone or whatever. But to see him move to the middle of nowhere and know no one and stay there and like, I know a lot of kids move to college and stay there and cook, but like you may move to college and you've got a meal plan and stuff. He's like preparing his own meals in the middle of nowhere, washing his clothes, doing everything there. That was a really cool thing. And just seeing him like doing what he loved with these birds, like from when he was such a little kid telling us about birds. He's not even in elementary school yet, before he even started kindergarten, reading these bird books and identifying them, to now seeing him do that. That was just a really, really cool experience. And so that's been a lot of fun. The last thing I'll add with family outside of travel and them flourishing, it's few and far between, I feel like, when we have everybody at home. So I'm trying to learn to really embrace the times when it's just two of the kids or just one of the kids and stuff. I mean, that's a transition too. You know, we talked about Christmas could be hard. It's hard when you don't. But the few times that we have had them all together, they've grown to this place now. Like there was a time when Jacob and Josh, the age difference was so different that like I don't feel like they hardly ever interacted. And now they send memes to each other, they talk, they joke, they genuinely just seem to enjoy each other. And Maria's always been in the middle, so I feel like she's kind of age-wise been able to bridge that gap, but then also can fight, you know, with both of them too, because she is in the middle. But it's been really neat to just do things like get on Board Game Arena. Well, it's me, you, Maria, and Jacob sometimes, or just little things like that. I've really treasured those times with family. So it's, I don't know, I guess I say all that to say the big trips have been amazing, but I think when I really look back, you know, it's like so many people say, it sounds cliche, but it really is some of those little special just moments that you might otherwise forget, where you're just sitting and playing a game, or the kids are poking at each other and laughing and having fun. That's been pretty amazing.
Very good. All right. Next on the list, career.
Yes.
For me, I thought my highlight of my career was specifically the Roatan mission trip and meeting Renee and Brooke, and you can go back. We had a special podcast with them that we did while we were there, was learning about Legacy International and becoming partners with them this year.
And finding ministry partners somewhere else that are so similar.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, that this is the first ministry partner that I have ever found that I feel like are truly kindred spirits, that both Renee and Brooke, I mean, I feel like they just click with us. We became quick friends. Our ministries are almost identical as far as what we want to accomplish and what we want to do, our mindsets. I mean, it was just so refreshing that, you know, if there was a Project Re3 in another country, it would be there. It would be Legacy International in Roatan. If there was a Legacy International here in the States, it would be Project Re3 in North Carolina. And so for me, it was really refreshing and a lot of fun to find someone that you just click with. And so for a career, for me, that was the highlight this year. And I had lots of highlights. This was a wonderful year at church. Maybe one of our best years ever. The church is healthier than it's ever been. The Hope Center has just exploded as far as number of people we've been able to serve and help. And so everything's going great. I mean, a
lot of this is probably due to your missions and outreach intern.
Probably.
That's unpaid.
Yeah.
That would be me.
Yeah. You did a lot this year, finally. It only took you 12 years to get on board.
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, like nothing else has been great. Everything's been great. But if I had one lone highlight, I love getting to know the folks at Legacy International.
I think for me, career-wise, they're kind of, I had two things but they're both. So at Salem for the last 3 years, I was the Salem College Alumni Board president. And as the president, that also gave me a spot on the board of trustees. But as the president, I represented the alums, you know, like I spoke at graduation. I spoke at opening convocation. I went to some events. I was on the board of trustees. I wrapped up that role after 3 years. I did a lot of things to kind of try to make changes and shake it up. Like the meetings had been run the same forever. And I guess some people would say if it's not broke, why try to fix it? But actually with this, I think the world's changed so much since COVID and since some things being virtual and stuff. So really tried to change some things up in the model of how we did our meetings and things like that. So I finished that time up and then transitioned from that role to now just a role on the board of trustees. So that's been kind of like my career serving on a board. But then at work, I have the dual roles in the legal department as a lawyer, but also as an associate dean in the Office of Faculty Affairs. And one of my newer boss Darcy is from Mayo, and she's just, I respect her so much. And she's really smart and really caring and has really good judgment and has just been a really neat person to work with and learn from, and to just watch her kind of grow that office and the work that she's done. And so career-wise, of course, there's got to be travel in here, but I got to travel with Darcy, and then also a friend from work, Kim, who works in HR. I do a ton of work with her. The three of us put together a presentation for the group on faculty affairs for the AAMC. That's the Association of Medical Colleges. And this was a national conference. It was in Portland, Oregon. And we were able to lead a session about managing faculty professionalism and faculty appointments and doing all this, in a time of mergers and transitions and lots of changes like we're seeing in academic medicine. And so that was just such a great experience because so many people from the Office of Faculty Affairs were doing presentations at that conference. And it just really made me super proud of Wake Forest School of Medicine and just like the team that's been built in that office and being able to be a part of it. And so that's been a lot of fun because sometimes, like, particularly in my legal role, it can be kind of isolating, because like you give advice, you might work really closely with certain people, but then you move on to the next case and you're working with somebody else. So this has been more of a different type of role that allows me to interact and participate in a different way than just as the lawyer. And so that's been really neat career-wise. And it's pushed me because it's pushed me I've spoken a ton all over the U.S. at conferences to lawyers. It's very different speaking primarily to doctors and scientists. And that's who was there. It's a different audience. They have different ways, not just that they absorb information, but that you present the information. And these are all highly skilled academics in addition to that. And so it really kind of pushed me outside of my comfort zone,
so
which
you
is
were
great.
teaching the smartest people on the planet.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. We'll leave it at that. That's the way
amazing.
we'll make it sound. I like that. Yeah, we'll keep it like that.
All right. And finally, the last one, ministry. It's hard for me to separate ministry and career because that's yours. Same.
Yeah.
But ministry wise, I hit one of my 2 bucket lists this year. That was doing 52 mission trips,
which is crazy.
Not in a year, that would be crazy. But over my lifetime, this trip to Roatan was mission trip number 52 for me. So I was always, I didn't set out to do that. It just, as they started adding up, eventually got to the point where I was like, maybe once it got into like the low 30s, I was like, man, it'd be cool to do 52 so I could see I spent a year of my life on the mission field. And that happened. And so I hit 52. My other bucket list goal is 30 years in ministry, and that will happen this coming May. So I'm 5 months away from that. So come May 31st, I don't know what I'm going to do. Because that will be 52 mission trips, and I wish that time we would have gone back to Roatan. So I have 53 mission trips at that point, hopefully, and 30 years of ministry. And then I think it's time to do something else.
Which is pretty amazing because I was looking, I think I've done 26 mission trips. So I'm not even, you're definitely beating me on that.
That hadn't been your career though. You're a professional. You're an attorney, that's what you did. This is what I did. But even as a pastor,
most pastors
I was pastoring a church for 30 years.
And that's what I was going to say. Most pastors can't do anywhere near that because the churches are so like, you can't be gone 2 Sundays in a row or whatever. So a lot of
pastors don't want to because it's too hard.
Yeah.
Let's face it. Pastors are lazy.
Yeah.
And they're only getting lazier with AI and all that kind of stuff. So, I'm very proud of the fact that I did 52 mission trips while pastoring a church.
And we will also add that, I've seen some people who go on mission trips and it's literally like a resort or something. Our mission trips are not like that. I mean, sometimes we're staying in the children's home eating the same food as the children we're staying with, or, we're serving. You're working hard. You're installing rainwater catchment systems in the heat and humidity. You're seeing hard things. I think that's the other thing. to not discount about what you do. You see hard things in ministry, but on mission trips, like that's 52 trips of seeing a lot of, joyful things, but also a lot of suffering and pain and brokenness and sadness and heartache.
Yeah.
I mean, that you keep going back to try to help.
That's what's made me cold and callous right now.
Is that it?
Yeah,
That's
hardened
what it
me. Those 52 trips.
Love it.
So that's it. That's my big four. So what's your last one for ministry?
I struggled so hard with this because this has been...
Because you don't do ministry?
No, because this has been such a good year for We3. And so one of the things I had to highlight, which kind of went in with family and travel, but was getting to do Roatan with Josh. That was his first international mission trip. And just seeing him there with these kids and doing all this, that was an amazing experience to see him serve, to see him do that. Plus, as we've talked about, the Roatan trip was amazing in and of itself, and the team was. But other thing, just like the way the women's ministry has flourished, we're getting ready in January. We'll have another of our half-day women retreat. But just, some women in some women's ministries in the past have been part of are catty or petty or cliquish or whatever. And I mean, not our women aren't perfect. Of course, you can have some of that, but for the most part, they're just not. They all just come and bring their own gifts and like serve together, which is beautiful. But there's like those women's things, the gift mart, like just was so smooth and so amazing this year. We were able to serve so many families and help so many kids, but like it was probably the least stressful. It's like we've really gotten it down to like a system almost, like learning from our, previous like mistakes and making it better and tweaking it. And like you said, the church has been great, just the people, and then the Hope Center, just like the growth there and seeing just the respect people have for the Hope Center and the community and the impact. Like, I sometimes like, I don't know, in some ways I look at it like, oh, this is really small, or I'm always looking at like more we can do. But it's like just staggering to think about, none of us knew how to do any of the things that we're doing, like we don't know. None of us have like even a certificate in nonprofit management. When I say us, I mean us or anybody on our leadership team or anything. And just seeing, no one, of course, knew how to run a food pantry or clothing closet, and just to see like what has happened in all these different spaces and to see the people that come and get excited about it and want to help, and the change that then kind of like you've talked about with mission trips, like, the change you not only see in the place you serve, but the change you see in the people you take. I feel like we've seen a lot of that, in the people serving at church or serving at the Hope Center or serving on these mission trips, like seeing the growth and excitement in the people, too, has been really, really a neat thing to see.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I concur.
Yeah. So it was hard, though. It was hard to come up. I mean, which is a great problem to have if you've had so many like good things happen that it's hard to narrow it down. Mm-hmm. That's not to say we haven't had heartache and hard times too, but like there's a lot of good in there as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely more good in all four of those areas.
A lot to celebrate.
Than bad this year.
Yeah.
And so hopefully our listeners have experienced the same in one or more of those areas. Positive is easy to focus on the negative sometimes, and the struggles and the heartache and whatnot, but being able to stop and just find one thing. What's one thing in my marriage? What's one thing in my family? What's one thing in my career? And if you're involved in ministry, and hopefully most people are in some way, even if you consider yourself just a casual church attendee, what's one thing in ministry? Like what's one thing in all four of those categories that you can hold on to and say, this was good.
And it's easy to forget them. And I think that's why this exercise of reflection is so important, because I sat down and looked back. I started in January at my pictures, and that's when you start to realize like, oh, I forgot that was this year. I didn't realize we did this, or look how happy, this person was. I think that's a good exercise, to try to really go back and try to think through each month and what you did, you may be really surprised.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what's this coming year? Anything for you, or are you done?
I don't know. This is what you were like. You said last year, I guess we did goals.
We
in
did
each
goals. I went back
category.
and tried to listen to the podcast, and I'm like, we didn't do hardly any of this. So we were
Did
not
we
even.
not? I don't
not
even
really.
remember what our goals
But
were.
we didn't. So we decided not to do goals. We're doing our Big 12. We've gone over
That's
those.
what I was going to say. Yeah, the Big
And-
12 to me is like the goal. And they hit in a lot of these places,
Yeah.
the Big 12 do. And so, yeah. So, but I mean, I think it can only get better.
I think a goal for me this year is I'm going to become more selfish.
Oh, okay. Well,
I feel like I've given 52 weeks of my life. I've given 30 years of my life to everybody else. I'm going to get back to me this year.
Okay.
How's that? Is that a good goal? Focus on me.
Well,
What about me?
I think it depends on how you define it. Like if you go with the newer, more modern terms of self-care or
I'm going to self-care myself to
self-reflection.
death.
Like if you go with it that way, it doesn't sound quite as harsh as like selfish, know. So it's probably all in the spin you put on it. So you might want to spin it a little differently if you're going to be doing lots of self-care.
Sometimes, a lot of people do this, and I've done this before. Like you just pray to the Lord and say, all right, Lord, give me a word for this coming year, Yeah. And he gave me 3 words for 2026.
Oh, what are they?
Do it yourself. That's what I'm going to tell people.
Do it yourself.
Do it yourself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not mine to do.
DIY. Do it yourself.
Oh, I can't wait to see how that plays out.
I think it's going to play out good for me.
Yeah.
It ain't going to play out so good for y'all.
Oh, boy.
Mike, can you make me dinner? Do it yourself.
Oh, gosh.
Dad, can you help me do it yourself? The church. Pastor Mike, can you do it yourself?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, I can't do my own wedding. Do it yourself.
Marry yourself.
That's
I'm sure you can figure it out.
Figure it out.
Get AI to marry you. Like somehow. Yeah.
I just want to get through May. Just get me through May. That'll check off the 30 years in ministry, and then I can hit the great reset and figure out what I want to do with the rest of my life.
You've convinced everybody that you're retiring in May. And I'm like,
there are a lot of people who believe that, genuinely.
I know, but you're not because you can't, because we have kids in college.
I figure if I speak it into existence long enough, if I put it out in the universe, maybe it'll happen.
Then you need to be going and playing those big lotteries. You need to be, if you want that to happen, you got to do a little more than speak. You got to go start creating some income streams.
Listen, you just finished today editing my 2nd book.
I did.
My 2nd book will launch sometime in January.
Mm-hmm. Which is, again, one of those things you and I did together, accomplished.
Yes.
I edited the 2nd one today.
I fully expect both the 1st and 2nd book to eventually get to Joel Osteen level.
Oh, okay.
Where I'm selling so many.
Yeah.
I don't have to take a salary from the church anymore.
Yeah. You're just like, my books will support
This is residual
us.
income.
And then I get to quit my job too, and we just go do whatever we want all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
and it pays for the kids' college.
I mean,
stuff.
December combined, I know I hadn't told you this, combined book sales of yours and mine. Hold on, $77.
Oh,
that was our royalties. That was our royalties.
So if we broke that down, we lost money. Because I was going to say, could we even figure out what we got paid per hour in doing the work?
That was just 1 month.
Yeah, but still.
But you bought a bunch of books and sold them.
Yeah, because I bought the author's copies or whatever that don't count towards that.
Don't count towards sales. And you're able to sell those out of the trunk of your car, so to speak.
But I guess but we're not like Stephen King, Joel Osteen, whomever. We're not that level. We're not going to be nobody's going to be knocking on our door with our next book deal. Here's X 6 figures to but I'm going to
bring it up again. They say 90% of self-published authors never sell 100 books. You're already well past that, right? So you're on your way, right? You're well into the triple digits. I'm not quite there yet, but you are there yet. So that's something to be proud of for you. You're in the top 10% of independent authors.
But you are too, because you bought authors' copies and sold some of those. So you are too. Yes, you're there. You're there too.
But I'm just looking at I'm just talking pure Amazon
You're
numbers.
looking at what the New York Times is looking at.
I'm looking at the Amazon numbers.
Yeah.
I'm not even looking at the ones we've sold out of our trunk.
Yeah.
So you're doing well.
I do think I like your 2nd book more. I like it.
Look at that.
Yeah. So, I mean, not to make people like go crazy or anything. But
They say the second's always better.
Really?
Yeah.
Do they say that?
Well, in marriage.
Oh.
I figure it carries over in books too.
I was going to say, I don't know.
I think your second husband will be better. My second wife will be better.
Oh, please.
We've worked out all the kinks right now. We figured out what we don't like.
Yeah.
And now when we go for number 2, we'll know what we really want.
You're the
It
worst.
just keeps refining itself.
You're the worst.
I am the worst.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing, so this is going to go live. So I'll say Happy New Year to everybody because it'll go live
This is
New
it. It's
Year's
going
Eve.
live New Year's Eve.
And then we'll be doing another one of these this week. This should be exciting.
Yeah.
What are we going to talk about?
We got stuff.
Oh, good stuff.
Yeah, good
okay.
stuff.
I can't wait to find out what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been Hey, Are You Still There with Mike and Beth. As Beth said, the very last one of 2025. Thank you for tuning in. If you listened to every episode so far, this is number 71. So thank you. That means approximately 71 hours people have given us this year.
Wow.
Or over the last 13 months.
Crazy. That's 71 hours they'll never get back.
No, never.
Most of them are probably multitasking. They're
I like
probably
to
doing
think-
something else while they're listening.
I like to think they're better off.
Yeah.
That we've made their life better.
Yes, especially some of our most dedicated listeners. I'm sure that that's what they would say.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
Well, that should be part of the next podcast. Is we should give a Listener of the Year award.
Oh, and we should ask them, how have we made your life better?
How have we
tell
made your
us.
life better?
Yes, and the poll question. Like, what area of your life have we improved the most? Your marriage, your ministry, your career, your family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some good stuff in there.
Or maybe the poll question can be: out of these 4, marriage, family, career, and ministry, which one does Beth need to improve in the most?
Oh, or maybe it could just be which one do both of us need to just drop off the list because we're not doing so great together in it. It could be that too.
Well,
so many poll questions we could have.
In 5 months, I'll drop 2 of the 4 off.
Oh, please, whatever.
No more ministry, no more career.
Okay, well, if anybody has any ideas for Mike's passive income streams that are going to help him reach this goal of retirement at the end of May, do let us know. We need to know.
Hey, we'll get it figured out.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
All right. Well, until the next podcast comes up in
In a
just a
few
couple of
days.
days.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for tuning in this year. We really appreciate it. This is Mike.
And Beth.
And this has been Hey, Are You Still There?